All right, we are live. Good morning or good afternoon if you're on the East Coast. Good morning if you're on Hank's side, or for me, it's still 11 a.m. But that's okay. We love talking Dolphins. Welcome to Fins Talk Today. I'm your host, Bobby Melendez. That is Fish Tank Hank. You're watching Fins Talk Today on the Fins Talk Network. If you haven't yet, hit that like and subscribe button. First off, Hank, I haven't talked to you in a little bit. So first off, how are you, my friend?
I'm doing good. I'm over here in Oregon still. Haven't left yet, and my daughter graduates college today. Well, she does her walking thing and all that stuff, and she graduates with honors and stuff like that today. So I guess I'm just being a proud dad and showing off a little bit, and then she's going down to the Ducks, and that's where she's going to get her master's. So
awesome. Very cool. Well, congratulations to Miss Daughter Hank. And
yes.
So, I know you're on a little bit of a tight schedule today, so we're going to try to keep it within our 30-minute time frame there. So first, let's discuss the news from yesterday, or the not-so-news from yesterday or the day before, was the Tom Brady press conference for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. It's what he said or what he didn't say regarding the question he was asked about the Miami Dolphins. And his response was it didn't satisfy people, and it was kind of what he didn't say that got people's attention. He just didn't shoot down those Miami Dolphin rumors about the reports. They believe it was Barry Jackson and Omar Kelly retweeted it. Was that the Dolphins had a mega offer for Sean Payton, and they had a deal in place for Brady until the lawsuit occurred. And his first time speaking directly to the media since he unretired and rejoined the Buccaneers. Tom Brady was asked point blank to address the rumors about him potentially joining the Miami Dolphins. Here was what Brady said, Hank, quote unquote, "I've had a lot of conversations with a lot of people. As far as I've had for the last 3 or 4 years of my career about, different opportunities when I'm done playing football. So, I kind of made a decision on what I would like to do. I'll get into the game. I'll get to be in the game of football. I think that's important. That's the important thing is where I'm at right now, and I hope what I can do for this football team, which is the Buccaneers." So he didn't deny it. He didn't say, no, I never had that discussion. I didn't talk about joining them or ownership possible, all this whatnot. So did you have a time to watch Brady's conference or see that part of the interview, and do you have any thoughts really on it?
I hate to beat a dead horse. You know what I mean? I hate to beat a dead horse. But this is simple. This is like every other rumor. Until, we know half of the truth is out there one way or another. But we don't know the other half of it. And he's not going to give it to us, and neither is anybody else anytime soon, I don't think. But not addressing it or overlooking it, is that like an omission on purpose, like a lie where you admit things, so it's basically a lie anyway because you left it out? Is it like that, or is that what you're asking me, Bobby? I'd have to say he's I don't, what he's talking about he'll like to do. I'm guessing that's broadcast, right? Isn't that what he was going into?
Well, he did sign a deal, as far as I'm aware. I'm trying to remember with who, but he did sign a big time deal like Tony Romo to do announcing. But what I'm thinking, but there's also that report that he plans on taking an ownership stake, and that ownership is with the Dolphins, with Bruce Beal and Stephen Ross, and Evan's absolutely right. There's two sides of a story. There's his side, her side, his side, their side, the truth. And that's right. Now, here's the bigger question. Thank you. It's Fox that he supposedly signed up with. Now, here's the thing. If reports are, and there's multiple people, when there's smoke, there's fire, Hank. We talk about ownership stake in the Miami Dolphins or an executive role with the Miami Dolphins. But quarterback, everybody's reporting it, and Barry Jackson and Omar Kelly, those are top guys in the Miami sports insiders. They've reported that and confirmed that the Sean Payton deal or that's what they were trying to do, and they had something they were trying to get Tom Brady until that whole Flores thing. So the bigger question here is, and this is something I thought of since yesterday and today, is first it was Deshaun Watson. It was Tom Brady before, but that was with Fitzpatrick. Then it was Deshaun Watson. Now it's Tom Brady. Then so that makes Tua plan C. Plan A was Watson. Plan B was Tom Brady. Tua's option C. How do you think Tua reacts to something like this?
I don't think Tua really cares, to be honest with you, at this point. I think the fact that he's got Mike McDaniels, he's got all this explosiveness now. There's all this stuff coming together for him, and if he's worried about that, he's got big issues. You know, I'm the kind of person where I don't like, you know, I hear enough about Tom frickin' Brady, okay? I don't care about Tom Brady. Tom Brady sucks. He's a cheater. It's just that simple. I'll say it 1,000 times. Him and the Cheatriots, the Billicheats, whatever you want to call them. Screw Brady. Screw him. Let's move on.
Well, you could say move on, but if it continues to come up, we're going to discuss it because it pertains to the Dolphins. And if Tua, now I agree with you, Tua should set the world on fire, as Evan's saying here in the comments, just set the season on fire. He has the weapons. He has a coaching staff that says they believe in him. But the question is not what's not in question is the Dolphins brass, whether they put it on Flores, but Greer, Ross, did not, and rather they're pretending now to believe in Tua. That first they wanted to go after this Watson, no matter how many cases he had against him. That report a couple weeks ago that they didn't want to make they wanted to make the deal. The deal was in place. He wanted to come to Miami, but Stephen Ross said no. You have to make sure that you have all these NDAs and whatever. That deal fell through. Now the report is that, and this was before Watson was Tom Brady, but Flores didn't want to tamper. Then Tom Brady now again. And now the Flores lawsuit comes in. So that's twice in a row. So we can pretend it's not going to happen and pretend it's not talk about it just because everybody wants to want to hurt Tua's feelings.
No,
but the fact is, it's out there. And
I'm not saying.
And here's the other thing. We hate Tom Brady. He was a Patriots quarterback, won 7 Super Bowls, whatever. Fact is, writing on the wall, eventually this dude's going to be a part of the Miami Dolphins, whether it's the executive or owner or maybe a one-year quarterback. I think eventually we're going to have to swallow it because I think writing's on the wall. This guy's going to be a part of the Miami Dolphins. And then what do we do then?
I don't have a problem with him being part ownership. That has nothing to do with anything as far as I'm concerned. That's after his football career. And I have no problem with that. You know, he cheated. That's how he got where he's at. They cheated. The refs have messed it up. A million different things. That's all I'm saying. I'm just tired of the Patriots. The Patriots are now getting to be equalized with everybody else. It's not a matter of, I don't think these things came up. They came up, but we've discussed them. We've discussed these things, all these things that you're talking about. I mean, this new thing with Brady, though, but I'm just saying, if he's part of the team as far as ownership, I'm okay with that. I don't want him as a player. That's just me. So,
well, we don't want him as a player because we want to hope Tua succeeds and be the franchise quarterback. And it's supposed to be the franchise.
I don't know about that either, because if Tua doesn't succeed, we're going to get a new one next year in the draft. So either way, I don't care. It's about the Miami Dolphins, not about the individual.
There you go. I like that answer. The now moving in, and I see Evan, and Evan's right, you know, and he's responding to AA, and AA, thank you for watching. Just needs to be a game manager, and his teammates will do the rest. I absolutely agree with you, Evan, 100%. Ross just wanted to get his Marino. Ross just wants to get his championship, and you know, right now, and this past era of Tom Brady, where you want a championship, Brady's usually your quarterback unless you get someone like a Mahomes. Now, Tyreek Hill did say that Tua has some skills that are better than Mahomes. And really and I agree with you. That's what Tua has for him right now that he didn't have in the past, is the outward support, and to come out and talk against his critics and say, I don't see you out here, and you didn't see that throw. But again, my thing on that, Hank, I love that Tua stood up and finally said something. I want to see some personality out of him. The one thing I loved about it is that, but the one thing I would say is you have to show it on the field. Practice is practice. OTAs is OTAs. Once the pads are on during the regular season, then let's see what you can do. And I mean, there's no reason why he can't light it up because of the weapons that he has. Now, let's talk about the Dolphins in general. They're not done making moves. They signed former Cleveland Browns linebacker Porter Gustin. They released Javaris Davis, corner, and defensive end Deshaun Hall. Gustin is 6'5", 260 pounds, was originally signed by the New Orleans Saints as an undrafted free agent in 2019. He spent the last 3 seasons in Cleveland. He did go off and on their practice squad last year before getting released. But he appeared in 26 games with 4 starts, recorded 52 combined tackles, 1 sack. And he played 226 snaps on special teams. So I think that may be where he mainly is playing on special teams, but also helping a little bit on defense. Do you have any thoughts on Porter Gustin and the Dolphins continuing to add to their defense?
I just think it goes to show that there's still a need at linebacker to some degree. That's my indication if they're actually bringing him in, and he was a undrafted free agent back in 2019, and now they're bringing him in. He's got some. He's obviously has some experience, which is good. You're not bringing in somebody, like a rookie, that an undrafted free agent. He's already been in the game as, came in as an undrafted free agent, but he's been doing it a while at least. So I just think they're poking around and just making sure that they're dotting the I's and crossing the T's right now is all they're doing with him.
Fill in the blanks for the defense, which a lot of people expect the defense to be pretty good this year. Hopefully getting that second half defense compared to the first half of last year. Someone who had a lot of good things to say about the defense was former longtime coach in the NFL, but former Dolphins and New York Jets special teams coordinator Mike Westhoff said the defense, he was very impressed with the defense. They looked good. But he didn't have a lot of the good things to say about the offense, Hank. And going back to that, he attended one of the practices. He gave praise to the Dolphins defense and their wide receivers, saying that the receivers could be the fastest offense in the NFL or the fastest receiving core in the NFL. Anybody would want to trade for those wide receivers, but criticized the offense, saying he was not impressed with how they looked as a unit, could count the number of throws downfield, and they did not look efficient. He doesn't think, when asked if he thinks the quarterback or the offense have progressed, he said no. Someone like Mike Westhoff, who's been in the NFL for obviously almost 2-3 decades now, a very respected coach, doesn't work for the Dolphins anymore, obviously, but was that part of their camp and was talking on the Joe Rose show during this interview. What do you think about that when he praises the defense, but is critical of the offense when we're all concerned with the offense and we have such high hopes for them coming into next season?
It's practice. I mean, where are we at? We're in June. Did we make it to June? Yeah, that's right. We made it to June. Westhoff, jerk off, whatever you want to call him. Look, special teams guy. I understand he's been around the system. I understand he's been in the NFL, and he's seen a lot, and he can tell by looking. Totally got that. But you know what? The Miami Dolphins are also running an entirely new offensive play and scheme. Of course, they're not going to look polished right now. There's no way they should look polished right now. If they look polished right now, then Mike McDaniel isn't doing squat, okay? The fact that they are jumbled around tells me that they are learning the new playbook, which means they are getting ready to make some big changes in Miami. And I like that I'm going to like that outcome. So That's where I'm at. I understand. Yeah, Mike Westhoff. I got you. Yeah. He's a big to-do guy, I guess, to some degree, even though he's just special teams. But like you said, he's been around for, what, 20 some odd years, maybe 30 years now. So I respect the fact that he has an opinion, but the opinion is based on incomplete package right now.
Do you remember? So for Mike Westhoff, special teams or not, again, like you said, he's been in the NFL for a very long time. Do you remember where you had the offense ranked projected wise?
Me, 10.
Yes, 10. Okay. So hearing something like that from a veteran head coach or a veteran coach from the NFL who's been around the likes of Drew Brees and so forth. I mean, plenty of quarterbacks he's seen. Does that give you cause to pause when thinking about that, to say maybe we should tamper down our expectations and think of a 15, 20 top 20, top 15 top offense instead of a top 10 offense, when he's saying that he's not seeing really any kind of progression from last year? And yes, practice is practice, and Evan said the same thing. But I will say is a lot of people make a big deal out of practice when it's a good day at practice. But if they're seeing bad days at practice, it's just practice. So when do we take it for face value compared to take it seriously?
When you take it for face value when your practice is on the field. That's when, and it's called preseason. And preseason will show where they're at. And once we see a couple preseason games, and we see a little bit of what they're gonna or not gonna do, that'll give us an indicator of where we're at. Now, until they step on the field and actually unleash on people, the New England Patriots, until they do that, and once they unleash on Mackie Jones and whoever else that comes to Miami, hey, we'll see, right? They look like crap now, but again, it's June, for crying out loud. Half these guys are probably still learning the playbook. So, not everybody's a savant playbook person, So you're gonna see a lot of moving around, especially on that offensive line. You brought in Armstead. You brought in, who is the other guy from Dallas again? Connor something.
Connor Williams.
Yeah, Connor. You brought him in, and you have people playing different positions. You're asking them to do completely different from what they're used to doing, because they weren't known as run specialists last couple of years by any stretch of the imagination. Now, we all know that the offensive line was toast. So I think right now there's confusion, and there should be confusion. It's going to take a little while for these guys to get the playbook down, get used to listening to a new quarterback. Maybe it is. I don't know. But it takes a little time for a team to gel. We all know that. And I think come preseason, we're going to start to see a little bit of what is or what isn't. I really don't base anything on – I don't jump on all the positives at camp, and I also don't jump on all the negatives either. I'm kind of in the middle and take it as it comes until I see a product on the field.
I think that's absolutely fair. And I would say, too, that's why, I think, you were saying maybe, the Patriots is game week 1. I expect the defense to be their normal self. I expect a good game from the defense. But I am starting to tamper my expectations on the offense, especially in the first few weeks of the season. For the point you brought up, even though Mike McDaniel has said it's the Shanahan type of offense, but they build it around the players. They mold it around the players. But I will say is that it takes time to adjust to a new playbook, because we're not going to get the offense we're going to see during the regular season and the preseason. They're not going to reveal everything. They're not going to have all their cards out. They're going to want to hold some stuff during the regular season. So it's going to take time for the offense to adjust to that playbook and to adjust to those plays that they've been practicing and trying to execute it on the field during the regular season. So I think, especially the first few games, I want to say the first few games or first part of the season, we're not going to see a type of explosive type of offense that everybody's hoping they see with the weapons that we have. I think it will be more of trying to get used to the plays and seeing little bits here and there until maybe midseason. That's when you're going to start to see that playbook open up. Defense, I expect. I mean, if defense falls flat at the start of the year, if they allow Mac Jones, who look, they made him look like a 2-year veteran last year. If he looks like a 10-year Pro Bowl player in that first game, and then I'm going to be worried about that defense. That defense should be with it because it's besides some new coaching staff, Sam Addison, Pat Surtain, it's still the same playbook, same defensive coordinator, same core of defensive players. They should continue that run that they had at the end of the year as almost an elite type style defense and continue that into the regular season. The offense is the one where I'm having that expectations where I'm going to start to tamper that back just a little bit, especially at the start of the year.
Well, you have Bill Belichick snapping the ball, okay? You have him snapping the ball to Mac Jones during practices. Let me tell you, Bill Belichick is going to have Mac Jones ready, all right? There's no doubt in my mind Mac Jones is going to be ready. But I can't worry about Mac Jones. I got to worry about the Miami Dolphins and what can they do. And I know one of the big things that they can do against Mac Jones is that defense can cover. Now, can they stop the run? That's the big question. I know Bill Belichick is going to come in with a whole bunch of run plays until Miami stops it because they haven't stopped it in 20 years. They better stop it. And I don't know how good of a runner Mac Jones is. I don't think he's all that great, but anybody can run with the ball for a first down, which is Miami's other Achilles heel, stopping the running quarterback. The run and the running quarterback. Those are the two defensive problems we have. That's why we keep looking for a linebacker. That's why we're looking for another one now. I truly believe Miami's defense will cause enough confusion and that enough disruption where Mac Jones isn't going to be as settled in as you think, but he's going to be getting rid of the ball quicker than he was last year. So that's a lot to say. So how's that going to go? Well, I hope it goes Miami's way and we get a lot of interceptions.
And I mean, that is the hope. And I'm not saying anything like, he's not going to have a few good plays. That's fine. I mean, and I expect him to, because despite everything we say about Patriots, Belichick, cheating, whatever, he's still Belichick. He's still just like it's still Tom Brady. It's still them. So I agree with you and I get it. My point is that I'm more concerned. I expect more from the defense than I do at the offense at this point. Evan says, before we got Hill, we could not win without an elite game breaker. We get one and people are still not happy. People just need to wait until the season starts. The problem is people are not waiting until the season starts to get hyped about the season because there's expectations about this offense. And the truth is, as fans, we've been duped before. It's okay to tamper expectations, say, hey, look, do we have because before when we got Mike Wallace, was it Mike Wallace? Yeah, Mike Wallace. It was the same thing. He's a speed wide receiver. People can say what they want. Yeah, Tyreek Hill's way better than Mike Wallace. But the question was, and we thought, oh, this is going to help Tannehill get to that point. Brandon Marshall was Chad Henne. And the same thing back then, Brandon Marshall for Chad Henne. And where did it go? Absolutely nowhere. So we got that elite game breaker. But they have to execute on game day. And the question is, can they? And like you said, offensive line. Remember, there was that report, Hank, as we're running on 24 minutes right now, but there was that report during the offseason that Miami was focused on revamping that receiving core and not that offensive line. They were more focused on that. And if you look at the now post free agency and draft or whatever, it's obvious that report was true. The receiver room is almost completely different. And you look at the offensive line, it's not that different compared to Connor Williams and Taron Armstead. So there's still questions there. But I trust the coaching staff to address those questions because I hope they know what they're doing. But there's still a question mark on offense. Defense, there shouldn't be because you're kind of continuing that flow.
Yeah, to some degree, it's continuing the flow. Obviously, Boyer gets his shot. and we'll see how that goes.
Yes,
I forgot what I was going to say to you.
You agree with me. I'm absolutely right. I know. You don't have to.
No. Definitely not. I was going to tell you how much I disagree with you, of course. No. I just really think that you can't you had this guy right here, right? You had him last season. Didn't he almost set a record for rookie receptions? Right?
He did.
He did. Along with knowing that him and Gesicki were the only two targets basically on the field. And look how good they did. They still got him the ball, okay? And this is with a crap O-line and everything else. Now you revamped half the O-line. Half of it's revamped. So you have a 50-50 shot at least on the O-line is how I see it, because they revamped half of it. That's how I'm taking the O-line. Now, you have Gesicki, Hill, Wilson Jr., Waddle, the guys out of the backfield, the running backs, they'll have speed also. Raheem. Who's the other one?
Chase Edmonds.
Chase Edmonds was the other one I was thinking of. Yeah, you have all that speed now, whereas before, the past 2 years, the receivers couldn't break away except for number 17 last year, okay? So now you have all this added, like you said, into the wide receiver group, and I'm supposed to tamper my expectations? Oh, no. My expectations are through the roof right now. And I'm here to tell you, there's only one thing that can screw it up, and that's that right tackle not stopping the run. Well, I guess there's more than one, huh? Not stopping the run of the running quarterback. And if Tua fails, that's it. That's all. That's three things.
Let's add three more to that. No.
That's three things that are solid that could be concerns. All right. But I truly believe that Miami has addressed all those issues by re-signing Agba, by bringing in Phillips, by bringing in Hill, by bringing in Armstead, by bringing in two running backs, by having Tua ready, bringing in a new head coach that's offensive-minded, bringing in a new head coach that also depends on the run to make the rest of it happen. There's a lot going on that's good, and I'm not tampering nothing, Bobby. I am go 100% this year, and I believe Miami might even be able to peak at the AFC title game.
We'll leave it at that. We got the 2 minutes running. I want to go ahead and because Hank got a graduation to attend. But I want to thank everybody for tuning in to the Fins Talk Network. Let's see. Hank is turning into Brett. LOL. Hint of negativity. Oh, I don't know about that. But you just being real, Evan. But hey, you're tuning into Fins Talk Network. If you haven't yet done so, hit that like and subscribe button. We got some great shows, great things coming here. We got the Fins Talk today, of course, on Saturdays at 12 p.m. Eastern time with me and Mr. Hank. And then, of course, overtime on Mondays at 7:30 Eastern time with myself, Brett, Evan, Neil, and company. And then, of course, now our new show on Wednesdays, 8 p.m. Eastern time, with, even though it's Fins Talk Network, we got the Goon Squad, which is talking about the Miami Heat. And, I mean, the premiere episode was great. We had a good time. That was Alex Atiachiska, Harrison, my younger brother, Neil, and Juan, Hank. It was a great show. I mean, I'm excited about the way things are going. So if you guys haven't, hit that like and subscribe button. And also, we have a partner for Fins Talk Network, a sponsor, which is Fable Beard Company. If you guys haven't heard already, I use the products. I love it. They got shampoos, oils, everything. Hank's favorite thing, CBD. They have all types of cool things there. Hit the link below to check out their website. It's on the show description, and use code if you purchase FinsTalk15 to get 15% off your order. It's totally worth it. Mazel tov to Hank's daughter from Evan. And of course, guys, thank you for tuning
Thanks,
in.
Evan.
We will see you guys on Monday, 7:30 Eastern time. Hank, fins up, my friend.